And did that happen occasionally on the course?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
occasionally.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, Dean, we're going to compare your chipping technique before we started the adjustments and afterwards. On the right was the way you set up and chipped before we started tinkering with the technique and these positions. On the left was after all the adjustment. First thing we notice is the width of stance. I had you narrow your stance and slightly angle your body toward the front of the ball instead of being square to the target line. You were slightly open. One of the things that narrowing your stance does is it repositions the ball. The swing on the right, if I draw a line straight back between the feet, it is there. Now, one might look at that ball's position in relationship to the right foot and think you really haven't changed your ball position. But in reality, you have, because the real difference is how it's different to your left foot. The ball is much closer to your left foot when you set up with your feet close together. It's very far away from your left foot on the right. Now, what that does is it changes the shaft lean. Here you have shaft lean in both of these setups, but you do have quite a bit more on the right. And when you have a lot more shaft lean, you will have a more tendency to catch the ground with the leading edge and the club gets stuck a lot. The more you can move that ball forward and have less shaft lean, the more you can use the bounce of the club and it'll skid more and not get caught. Other observations of the difference between the setups is how the hands are positioned. Your new setup, you have your hands more off your left side. That also allows your elbows to get just a little closer together. Your elbows are a little closer together here in your setup than here. And you want to feel like your elbows are a little bit closer together and more in front of your chest instead of the sides of your chest. And so the setup on the left, it looks perfect. It's just really good. Now I'm going to take both swings back into the back swing. So when you go back here, that's about the end of your backswing. Do it on the other side now. About the same. In fact, slightly shorter backswing on the left, your new swing, your new setup. And the other noticeable thing, when you started with your elbows slightly closer together, you actually kept your right elbow more in the correct position as you took the club back. You kept that right elbow more in front of the chest as opposed to letting that elbow kind of swing behind your back a little bit. As you can see over here, I'm even seeing some daylight between your arm and your right side. You're kind of pulling the elbow back instead of just turning your shoulders and turning your chest and keeping the elbow connected. And so as you've started your backswing with your older setup, it tended to separate your elbows as you went back. Here you're able to, on the left, your new setup, you were able to keep your elbows pretty much in the same position and not let your elbows separate. So that's a very good positive right there. As you come through to impact, I'm going to continue now. Now when you hit that, I'm going to stop it there. And when you come over here and hit, again, this is where that shaft lean really becomes pronounced. You have a lot of shaft lean here and very little here. And this is just a moment after impact. You have a lot more angles going on in terms of your arm. You got quite a bit of a break there. Here you're much less so. You're much more on line with the shaft with your left arm. So that's very good. Your hands have moved forward. Your hands right now are in front of your left thigh. Your swing on the right, your hands are in the middle of your body. As you continue forward, your club basically stops pretty quickly. And so this is the end of your swing here. I'm going to go back and show you your practice swing that you use prior to hitting this shot on the right. Now this is your practice swing. And you took 2 or 3 practice swings and they all swung through the shot. There was no stopping early. It wasn't a quick chop of the hands. You had a swing. Now there's some issues with the swing, but I'm focusing on just the concept of swinging through the ball with your chip shot, letting the club continue and not stop abruptly at impact. And so when you do practice swings, you did not stop here at this blue line, but you swung through the ball and had a much further follow through, which is more correct. So the practice swing had better technique and better execution than the ball swing. Now we're going to go back and look at the technique and the execution of the ball with your new setup and new feeling about how to swing your chest through. So as you continue through, that's just an entirely different technique. That's a different golfer right there. That's very good. You have your shoulders here. You have your sternum, your hands right in front of your chest, just like they started. You've moved this knee towards your left knee, so you're engaging your lower body to help you swing the club through. And you do indefinitely swing through the ball. So that's a much better position right there. And you did that consistently. It wasn't just every once in a while you did this. You were able to execute the chest swing. Swing your chest. And it's okay. I mentioned that with putting, you want to keep your eyes down until your club comes to a stop. With full swings, you want to keep your eyes to the ground until the club has reached post-impact positions. But with the chip, you actually want your chin and eyes. It's okay to have your chin and eyes swivel and swing with the hands. That's very common on tour. So the fact that you're letting your eyes follow the club is not an issue at all. In fact, it is optimal. And so that is very good. It also prevents you from getting too flippy with the hands when you don't swing the chest. One other important thing I want to point out in what the new technique does for you. You had mentioned that you had a tendency to set up on one line, but the ball tended to go to the left of that chosen target line. Choose to do that. It tended to do that frequently. On the right was your old technique, and I want you to pay close attention to the face of the club as it goes through the ball. You've hit the ball. We're going to look at two things. We're going to look at what this face of the club is doing and what your right hand is doing. Now, as you come through, watch how the toe of the club rapidly rotates left. Already it's much more left than before, and your right hand is starting to roll over. It's twisting. Your right hand is twisting instead of swinging forward to the target. The palm of your hand is twisting, and it's causing the club face to twist. The back of your right hand is almost facing the camera right now, and the toe is is twisted over quite a bit. So you really do a quick rolling of the forearm of the right hand, when this other technique, that face is held much steadier. You're seeing a big difference in how the right hand is coming through. You're almost pitching the ball. If you had a ball in your right hand, you wouldn't use the technique on the right. You wouldn't let that right hand roll over if you're trying to toss the ball to the target. If you're doing an underhand toss to the target, that palm would be facing the target for a much longer period of time as it goes towards the target. And that's what we're seeing here. I'm seeing you hold this face square to the target really well. And that's what gives you the consistent control. So as you just have a twisting action going on in your right hand, that is what you've really improved and given you more control. You can see the big difference there.
It's a real gentle swing, nothing really sharp or harsh. Yes, good. Good. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, that's really good. Yes, yes. Man, you're just mastering this. Good. Oh, beautiful. Click. Beautiful. In your library of senses, you will attach that result to a certain field. That's very nice. The thing I like is they're all clean, pretty clean, reasonably clean.
Yeah.
Some are better than others, but your worst one is
reasonable range and consistency.
That's right.
Creeping in.
Yep. We've simplified what you're doing
Right.
by using your big muscles instead of the small muscles. Oh, that's really looking good. That's just a very relaxed little shot. You're picking this up very quickly, Dean.
Well, it sure feels better than what I've been doing.